Hi, it's Victor here from Trend Following Trading for Beginners. In today's episode, I want to talk about 10 good trading habits and tricks that you need to have in order to help you to become a consistent trader. Coming up next. Okay, first off the bat, these habits and traits I'm going to talk about is basically from my own experience, and these are just guidelines only. Okay, so the first things first. I think the first good habit to have is always think long term. Don't just think of trading as like a little what called 5 minutes jobby, or do it for 1 month or 1 year and you become successful. It is a long-term business. You go in to make money. That's what most of us start out with. So give you some side way to making money on the side, and a side income, so to speak. But that income fluctuates up and down, and sometimes you even lose money because not all trading systems are always profitable. But you need to think long term. So when it's in your down month, you think of, okay, I'm in here for long term. So slowly, this is the losses is more like, so long keep it small, which I'll talk about next, is a part of doing business, the cost of doing business. But you must have the right mindset. A lot of people I see, including myself, is that at the start when we first started up, we just want money. When? Yesterday. We won £1 million. When? Last year. We never think of Warren Buffett took 30-40 years to become one of the richest man in the world, and his return is 25% over that 35 years period. And people come out reading some books, saw some films, and heard some podcasts, including this one, and feel inspired and want to do something very quickly and have the mindset that making money from the market is easy. It's not. If you think like a businessman, all business have a chance to fail and try to make money, of course. But nobody go into the market thinking they will fail. But the fact of the matter is, 90% of all businesses failed, and won't last more than a year. And then the remaining 10% won't last even for the next 5 years, and that's the failure rate of business. In trading, is not much difference, I don't see. And you need to think long term. You really go into it, and then hopefully the good habits I'm talking about will help you. But you need to think long term. That's the first thing. Just basically set expectation. It's too many. I blame the media in general. There's too many people who say, yeah, do this, that method, or buy this course, or read this book, or watch this show, whatever, and then boom, pop your uncle, you got all the things you need, and you become successful overnight. No. I mean, if you look at some of the YouTubers or podcasters or any successful businessmen, they are very successful now, but nobody talks about when they first started. They were nobody. And how much struggle they have and how long it takes them to become successful. But they all have a long-term view because they go in and they never give up, so to speak, which is next bit. Because it's long-term view, like doing a business long-term, you inevitably come to some failures. Sometimes could be quite big failures. And main thing for you is you need to have this mindset and habits to trade as well, that you are not going to give up. No matter what happens, no matter your dogs die, you got divorced, your children want to talk to you, you got cancer, you're not going to stop. You never give up, you continue trading. Okay, that is very important, because a lot of people just face some failures and stop. And they say it doesn't work, or the trend following system doesn't work, whatever. All systems have up and down, and most of the time it really depends on how you interpret the signals. First of all, you follow the signals, and then how you implement the signals, and then when you hit problem, how you pick up yourself. I personally believe, both successful and unsuccessful people face same life problems. They have issues. Why successful people become better? Because the way they handle themselves when they face problems. A lot of people, we really in a business downturn, business got shut down, but some people who have a never give up attitude will try something else and try to come back, but maybe to a different business venture. But because they have a business before, even though it has failed, they got a better mindset of experience, and they will continue to the next one because they have this mindset of never giving up. Unsuccessful people just blame the market, blame the customers, blame everybody else, and never think for themselves. What have I done? What can I do better? And that's very important, that you must keep this in mind. Never give up. And then, which I just touched on as well, the next bit is basically is your system. A lot of people go in the market nitty-gritty, without any care of the world, doesn't have a proper method, and just go in the market. It's more like gambling, like buying a lottery ticket. To be successful and consistent, become a consistent trader, you must have a system. That system may not necessarily make you money every time. Out there's some, I don't know, maybe it's again, it's a general attitude of the market as well. Always think, there's a holy grail, follow this system, you always make money 100% all the time. The only person who always make money, month in, month out, year in, year out, is in jail. And it's called Madoff. Okay? Bernie Madoff. He basically offered 1% per month on his portfolio or his investment, and the smartest people in the world never ask questions. How can they sustain it? And they've been doing that for years, and then later on got find out that it was a Ponzi scheme. So any system will have its failure time, but the main thing is you stick with your system, stick with what the system tells you, like the signals it gives you. Now, I tweeted a bit about it as well, that some of my most profitable trade come from nowhere. All I got is just a signal from my system and say go. And I thought, well, you sure? The fundamentals is bad, that people talk different in different directions, and then my system saying buy when everybody else says sell. And it turns out my system sometimes is right and sometimes wrong. But the biggest win's always been the one that I thought is silly. I thought it should never happen. It's go against the grain. But the system, remember, the trend following system, very mathematical. It's found a mathematical way to say, look at the market and say, look, there's a signal here. Take it or leave it. This is why a lot of people, when they compare simulation by using computers and actual trading, they found a very big difference. One of the main problem is computer just look at numbers and just calculate, especially trend following, just a mathematical base method. But when you come to a human being, they use it in a life account. They get somehow they just don't follow the signals. All sort of maybe self-denial, unbelief, or other people talk them out of it, or whatever reason they just don't follow, and that's why they never get the right result as per the simulation or anything close to it. So you must stick with your system, okay? But thus providing your system have a positive edge. Otherwise, over time, even you say good system, you still won't make money, because if a 50-50 system, you'll be mostly break even. But because of cost of buying and selling shares, slippage, you lose over time. So you must have a system that gives you an edge. Okay. The other thing is, which I also said before, is in one of my podcasts, rule number 1, keep your losses small. Cut your losses. And that's old saying out there, the first loss is the best loss. When you go in the market, you follow your trading system, give your signal. You must have a predefined risk level. Basically, that's my loss, and Uncle Point, get out now. There's even some people doing out there to say, okay, you might, let's say 1% loss is your risk. And there are people out there with some rule to say if the first day, when I go in the market, within one day or two, they already got a loss, and it's like 0.5%, you get out, because they don't even want to entertain the 1%. What they're doing is very much like using this very much like poker. When you do poker, you put a bind on, to basically to the play. And if the hands that you got doesn't look right, just get out. You're not gonna go for 1 round or 2 rounds before you give in, before you fold, so to speak. So some people, actually, I think it's a good method, good habits to have. Is like, if the first couple of days, even the first week, if the market is not going your way and is not doing right, then cut the risk and get out. But the main thing here is keep your losses small. Okay, the reason here is twofold. One is, I said it before, keep your money available for next trade when the next signal comes off from your system. Then you trade. Next is, when you have a large loss, pardon my language, it messes up your head. It messes up your brain. And you do silly things, stupid things, like revenge trade and so forth. Or trade too much, try to recoup. And that's not the right mindset to have, the habits to keep. So to keep you from doing silly things, always stick with your stop loss. Cut your losses small. Keep them small. And let the profit runs. Okay? That's very good information to have. And you can basically listen more of that on my previous podcast. The next one is basically it's very much similar to the first one. Is the expectation. The expectation here I'm talking about here is not just a long-term system, but also think about trend following in general. They're not. I think Karen Koo from Singapore mentioned it, and I saw a tweet about it on Twitter. I have a very good YouTube video about it. Trend following system, by its inheritance in the system itself, it's not always going to make money. In most cases, I would say like 60, maybe 70% of the time, you lose money. But providing you keep your losses small, inevitably you will catch some good trend. Out of that 30% or 4% that make you money, 10-15% of that maybe just break even, or maybe still turn out to a small loss. And then another 20% or so of that is only like a little bit of increase in the profit. And then you have some large wins, but that only happens like 10-20% of the time. When I say about large wins, is that they go and run for quite a while. I'm talking about months, maybe years. And if you did follow your trading system signal and don't get out, and the risk, basically the trade never touch your stop loss level, you just continue, and that's how you make big money in trend following. We are trend followers. By what I mean is, we follow the trend until it bends. So basically, we follow, no matter what the market says, because this calculation mathematical base. So long as the math says continue, then you continue. No second thought about it, no doubt about it, and just continue. And that is very important. Then this expectation that your system, so long as have a positive edge. Even a system that only wins 30% of the time could still make you loads of money. You consistently applying the same method, stick with the same signal, go in when the system tell you, you will become profitable. But again, that's not a short-term thing, it's a long-term thing over time. Okay? So keep that in mind. And the other thing is, I started to talk about before that reading books and having audible to have read some proper books, and also on trend following about the mindset, and I think this is very important, that instead of just trade every day, you need to keep listening to trend-following books and good advice, good trading advice stuff on your phone or on your music instrument, whatever, your iPod, whatever it is, on a daily basis, especially when you're driving. I use that. I drive 1 hour or 1.5 hours to work each way, and I use basically my car become my stereo system. When I drive, just listen to audio or audible books, which help to feed my mind. A lot of time is for trading, but all of it and some of it is also about mindset and personal development. You need to keep that in, keep doing that. It will help you. Okay, and there's one book I just recently listened to. Is from Larry Hite. I think that's one called The Rule. Basically, his rule, the way he look at it, how the market works. And remember, this man is part of the AHL, which is basically taken over by Mans. It's a hedge fund. This guy makes millions of pounds or US dollars, and he basically have a lot of good advice in this book, The Rule, and I would recommend it, highly recommend it. Yeah, and again, I got on Audible and I listened to it. I've been listening to it twice already, and it's it just recently came out about a couple of weeks ago, I think. It's quite good, and it shows you how he has a lot of physical problem, reading problem, couldn't see, deaf, couldn't see properly, kind of stuff, and learning difficulties, and still able to make loads of money. And people like that, work hard and able to make lots of money. You can too, but you have the right mindset and the right attitude, and always work hard. Which is the next bit. Always work hard. Don't just give up. You don't give up and you don't work hard. That's useless. That's one thing. I think work hard is more like taking action for me. I recently watched some video like yesterday or this morning from a guru called Sadhguru. He was talking about something, spiritual stuff, and he think meditation. Good mindset is good, good affirmation is good, it's useful, but just from that, it's not going to help you without any action. It's like planting a tree or growing vegetable, whatever. The tree and the vegetable, whatever it is, like carrots or whatever it is the end result. Yes, a lot of supporting processes that you must follow, and you follow those processes, and then you will have the end result. And it's for me, it's very eye-opening for that, because this goal sort of talks about trading as well, because a lot of people just talk about I just want the money, show you this is how I did it, and this is the money and how much I got, blah blah blah. Then forget the process, the supporting process all behind it, how to make it work. The process is more important than the end result, which I also did talk about in one of my episodes. And that is from a guru talking about some of the spiritual stuff and meditation stuff, but it also applies to trading. Always concentrate, thinking. It's not going to work on its own. You must work hard, put in action, okay, and follow the process. Just thinking affirmation alone is useless. So this book called The Secrets, a lot of people have read about it. I don't want to bash it, but just thinking about it, it's not going to work. The person behind the secret book also did a lot of work, push the boundary and do the work. So just thinking is not enough. So you must work hard, okay? And the other thing is, I'm not sure how often people talk about this in the trading world, probably in the personal development world, is that you need to surround yourself with people, like-minded people who like trading, maybe trend following, maybe other method, doesn't matter, but who are keen and have the right mindset and attitude to also work hard and make the money from trading. And a lot of people forget that our surrounding affect us a lot. not just the mindset, but also the habits, the way we do things and stuff. So in a financial institution, when you go in as a trader, you have all sort of supporting system and people behind you, beside you, and other people around you, all trading. And so like a big team. For us retail trader, we all on our own. And trading in itself, especially day trader, is very boring. It's very isolating, very lonely. It could be a time. And you need to surround yourself with the right set of people, otherwise you can give up very easily. And also your futures really depends on how, what type of people you mix with. If the people you mix with is only, doing a 9-to-5 job, doesn't aspire to have a better life, you become the sum total of your 5 best friends around you, or sum total of your environment. So a lot of time I would suggest, to be successful, you need to mix with successful people, not just in trading, but anything, sports, business, cooking, DIY, or whatever. You need to mix with people who are the similar mindset as what you are, or what you like to become, and continue to that journey. It's no point basically say, I want to become successful. But still mix with people who don't believe in working hard and just will lie down in front of the couch and watch TV every day. Successful people don't do that. But if you mix with successful people, you see them do that all the time. You say, Tom here makes a lot of money, earns millions, and he goes to all this conference and makes with these type of people. I can mimic it, this guy. Go over and have a look. Join the club, join the party, join the people surrounding her, and go to more seminars, the talks that he goes to, and the type of people he meet. Slowly, by osmosis, you learn to pick up some of the habits, good habits, and slowly become more successful yourself. At least better than where you were then, sitting in front of the TV and watching, I don't know, whatever your favorite TV show is, and eating pizza. Okay, so think about who you mix with, and that has a big impact on you as well. And most of all, in the last bit, basically for me, I learned it from London Real when I was doing the training course, course of something else. It's not about trading, but it's about something else. And main thing is accountability, and take responsibility of all your trading result. Okay, that is, no matter how good or how bad your trading turns out, it's your responsibility, because you put your money online, you save it up, you put it online, you think the market go one way, and the market might or might not follow what you say, and it might turn up, become profitable or not profitable. But all the action, all the process, and try to put your money on the table, hoping against hope to make some money out of it. Yeah, which is fair enough, but you did all this yourself, okay? And you need to take control of it. Like good habits, you continue monitoring and keep it. Bad habit, you monitor it and basically try to reduce it, or try using that habit to nullify the effect. And you must take full control of it. It's your money. Nobody cares more about your money. And you must be accountable to yourself, because most likely like myself, you go trading not just to make some extra money, but also for your, do something for your pension, for your old age, for paying your children's tuition fee, or as simple as just having enough money to go on holiday once a year. But you must take into account the action, which I talked about, but you must be accountable for it. Okay, so if the result didn't turn out to be right, well, you're responsible. Sorry, mate. It's a tough world. If it turned out to be right, take all the glory. But remember, trading like a business. Treat trading like a business. When the business do well, you take the glory. When the business fail, you are to blame, because you are the main person who control the business. The buck stop with you. So remember, take full control of your trading results. And this is the last habits I talk about. I hope this episode is a bit long, but I hope it gives you some good insight and something to think about. And hopefully you will get some good nuggets out of this and help you in your trading. And we'll talk to you next later on. Bye.